This is kind of our first decent smallmouth of the morning. This is the new Megabass Haze Shad. Literally, I think my first or second cast with it. It's just another minnow bait that's coming out right now by Megabass. Just put it on a little ball-headed jig head, but this is the first decent smallmouth of the day, and it's a good sign that this little minnow, hopefully it does us good today, but decent smallmouth. Nice one, bro. I think we're gonna go over there. You see straight across over there, you see all that? Yep. Action? That's kind of what I was, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. A tug's a tug. So we're on a lake right now, a reservoir type lake. Out in the middle here, a lot of times in the summertime, these white bass will come up in great numbers and come up and spool and chase bait around. Not sure if there's any bass around yet, but there is for sure, I would say, thousands of white bass. And as I'm looking around, you can see them keying in on super small bait fish, not real big shad. I'm talking bait fish that are an inch, inch and a half, sometimes 2 inches. And my first bait that I kind of picked up, this is a Megabass Karashi. It's a super subtle bait. It imitates, like I said, those inch and a half, 2 inch bait fish really well. It has a feather hook on the back. I replaced these with Gamakatsu hooks, a little bit bigger. It makes it sink just a little bit more. That's just my personal adjustments that I make on it. But a whole bunch of different colors. This is just kind of a brown back little shad imitator. It works perfect for all these white bass that are feeding on those tiny minnows. But I'm gonna get back out there and reel in a few more white bass.
Oh, I got smallmouth.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, it came off. So there are smallmouth mixed in with these.
I mean, they are just everywhere.
Yeah. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys, so we just got back off the water a little bit ago, and we spent the day out on the water with Bassmaster Elite Pro Alex Redwine. And really the primary goal of today was to take out the new Megabass Haze STs, really to do some product testing and really figure out what the best way to fish this was. Within the first couple casts you saw, Alex caught a pretty decent smallmouth, and like he was saying, he was just throwing them on a ball head. So I had pretty good luck today throwing this on a Dirty Jigs guppy head. I was throwing this in either a 1/8 or a 3/16 because we weren't fishing super deep water. And then I throw all of my mid-strolling baits on a loop knot. It just allows that bait to have a little bit more rotation when you are shaking your rod. It just allows that bait to roll back and forth just a little bit more. So for the minnow bait, what I was doing is I was throwing that on a Megabass Orochi X10 Medusa. This is going to be a 611 rod, and it also is going to feature a stinger tip, which really just allows you to not have to overwork the rod in order to get that bait to roll back and forth. And then I had that paired up with a Daiwa Kage in a 2500 size. So that is the way I fished it the most. The other ways that you're able to fish that new Haze ST is either on a drop shot, a ball head, or just like your typical mid-strolling head. So in the morning, that's kind of where we focused. And then Alex noticed that across the lake there were a lot of fish breaking the surface on the water, so we went over to check it out, and what we found was just a mega school of white bass feeding on smaller shad. So luckily we both had a Megabass Karashi tied on. I was throwing this just on a Poison Adrena BFS rod paired with a Shimano Aldebaran BFS reel. I'm throwing this on strictly just 6-pound fluorocarbon. Alex was throwing his on a spinning rod and was using 10-pound braid to like an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. Either way kind of works. It just kind of is going to depend on which preference or which way you like it. For mine, I was just throwing it on the standard size hooks, which is I believe a size 10 that comes standard on all the Megabass Karashis. He's upgraded his, as he explained. He likes his to sink just a little bit quicker, and adding just a little bit bigger and heavier hook will allow that bait to sink just a little bit faster. So we had a lot of fun for about a half hour or 45 minutes targeting white bass, and then we caught a few smallmouth mixed in there as well too. All right, so after the morning bite for white bass really died down, we transitioned, started fishing some offshore structure, and we're targeting fish in about 10 to 12 feet of water. I was either slow dragging a chatterbait through the rocks or catching them on a tube. But as far as the chatterbait goes, there was a couple different setups that I was using. First one being is the Megabass P5 Destroyer blade. So this is going to be a 6'8", so it's going to be a much shorter rod than most people are going to throw a chatterbait on. And this isn't going to be my all-time chatterbait rod that I'm going to pick up. This is really like if you're either trying to skip this chatterbait up underneath some like low hanging branches, or you're just beating the bank where you're not really trying to make any long casts. The blade worked really well, loads really good, didn't lose any fish on it. So the other rod that I was throwing is the Megabass P5 Destroyer Deimos. It's going to be a 7'2". It's going to have the same action and lure rating as the blade. It's just going to be a little bit longer rod, which is just going to allow you to make just a little bit longer cast. Now, as far as trailers go, there were a number of different options I was kind of playing around with. The one that seemed to get me the most bites is going to be the Geecrack Bellows Shad. So now there's a couple of different variations. Both of them are going to come in a 3.8 size right now, but there is a standard version as well as an elastomer version. Now, the standard version is not going to hold up, all day. You're going to catch one, maybe two fish before they rip the tails off, so you'll have to change plastic. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more durable, I'd highly recommend taking a look at the 3.8 Bellows Shad elastomer version. They are a little bit harder to get threaded onto the jackhammer. However, once they're on, they typically will stay on pretty well. So another thing to look for is Geecrack has a 2.8-inch Bellows Shad coming out later this fall. That's going to make a perfect trailer for those smaller chatterbaits as well as the baby jacks. So, all right guys, so that's going to wrap up today's video. If you want to pick up any of the gear that we had talked about, you can jump on over to the website, hamiltonbait.com. Call us at the store, 513-869-2248, and we'll help you get the correct gear that you need in order to go out and fish either the Megabass Karashi, jackhammer chatterbaits, or the new Megabass Haze ST. We're going to get the boat cleaned up and get it back in the barn. We'll see you guys on the next one.